Hey, welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Gillian Perkins. I'm an entrepreneur and an author, and I write about online business strategy. Today, I wanted to share with you 12 of the best, highest paying jobs that you can do from home. Now, if you've ever Googled what job can I do from home, or best work at home jobs, or how to make money from my laptop, something of that nature, you've probably found a list of a whole bunch of things that mostly included filling out surveys or using some search engine where you make a little bit of money for every search that you do, like Swagbucks. The problem with those solutions is that, first of all, you're only going to be making pennies, okay? So for every survey that you fill out, you'll make like 50 cents, maybe $1, maybe $2 max. And those surveys aren't short. They take many minutes to fill out. And even if you did that all day, just full time, you only spent your time filling out those surveys and using Swagbucks and other things like that, then you are only going to make less than minimum wage. A lot of the other ideas include things like sell stuff on eBay. But the problem with that is that you can only sell so much stuff before you don't have stuff and you have to go buy more stuff. And then at that point, you're just running a business, and that's not exactly what you were looking for, probably. So today I wanted to share with you 12 opportunities that you can make real money and actually earn a living for yourself from your living room, from your laptop. And then a couple of these ideas do involve driving around, but they're still location independent. So you can do them from anywhere in the world, and there isn't really any startup capital for almost any of these jobs. So without further ado, let's jump into the different options. Okay, so the first job that I wanted to talk to you about is social media manager. So you probably know that a lot of businesses use social media to advertise their companies these days. And social media is great because it's a free form of advertising, but what's not so great about it is that it takes a whole lot of time to successfully market a business on social media. Because of that, a lot of small businesses especially are hiring social media managers to run their social media accounts for them. So a social media manager might do things like post on Facebook, organize different posts for Instagram, collect pictures for Instagram, interact with customers who will respond to the pictures, and generally manage the comments. Now, a social media manager makes a pretty good wage of about $15 to $35 per hour. If you're interested in learning how to be a social media manager, I'd encourage you to click the link below. I have a link back to my blog, and on the blog post for each of these different jobs that I talk about today, there is a list of steps that you can do to get started with these jobs. So if any of them catches your eye, make sure that you click that button down there and find out what you can do to get started with these jobs. Okay, the second job on my list is kind of similar. It's the job of a virtual assistant. Now, you probably know what an assistant does, right? If there is an executive person in a company and they need someone to help them out, or maybe even just like a mom who needs someone to help them out, then they would hire an assistant to do those more rote tasks, the tasks that are simple to do and anyone can do them, but they take time. Now, a virtual assistant is exactly the same thing, only they don't go and work in an office or in a home. They just work on their computer, and their boss or their client delegates to them specific tasks. So the client might ask the virtual assistant to format a blog post, proofread something, post on social media, respond to customers, or manage their inbox. You can start slow, take on just a couple of clients, and then gradually work your way up. A virtual assistant makes, on average, about $10 to $30 per hour, but if English is your first language, which, chances are more likely than not that it is if you're watching this video, then you can make a higher wage, because there's a lot of virtual assistants from other countries, and it works great for people from their country to hire them, but for an American or someone who lives in the UK to hire them, they might not have as good of communication as they would like to. So if English is your first language, then you can probably charge a slightly higher price because you will be easier to communicate with for an English speaker. The next job is something that you might think takes a lot of technical skill. It's being a web designer. Now, the thing about being a web designer is, yes, you do have to learn how to design websites. However, that still takes way less time than going to college for 4 years. You can learn how to design websites in as little as 3 months, although to be really proficient in it, I would recommend you spend at least 6 to 12 months. But you can either take a course online or you can learn on your own. However you do it, it's going to be a lot less expensive than going to college for a whole 4 years. And once you know how to design websites, your clients really only care about the results that you can give them. They don't care about exactly how you were educated. So if you can show them that you can design beautiful websites, then you will not have a problem getting hired. A web designer normally charges about $1,200 to $8,000 per website, and a good web designer can design a website in as little as 3 days for a very small site, normally about 2 to 3 weeks. The next job option is kind of similar. It's a graphic designer. Now, being a graphic designer, you can get started with even less schooling or less education than you would need to be a web designer. That doesn't mean, though, that you can't study a lot more and learn a lot of new techniques and improve your craft. So you can get started maybe a little bit sooner if you have a good eye and you know how to run at least one design program like InDesign or Photoshop. But then from there, you can continue to improve your skills and add new strategies to your repertoire so that you can provide your clients with even higher quality work and work that you wouldn't have been able to do beforehand. A graphic designer normally makes about $25 to $100 per hour. It all depends on your level of skill and how you're marketing yourself. Next up, we have an Amazon Flex driver. Have you ever heard of this? I had never heard of this until pretty recently. An Amazon Flex driver is someone who works for Amazon as a subcontractor, so you're not an employee of Amazon. It's kind of like being an Uber driver, except instead of driving people around, you drive packages around. Amazon has some services where they offer to deliver packages to people, to their customers, in as little as 1 day or even a few hours. And to accomplish those services that they're providing, they can't use a regular delivery service like UPS because they just can't get them from their fulfillment center to the customer in time. So what they do is they hire these Amazon Flex drivers to pick up packages from their fulfillment center and then deliver them to customers in the same city. So if you want to become an Amazon Flex driver, you just download the app and apply to the program. If you're accepted, then you start choosing different shifts that you want to work and different driving routes that you want to accept. Amazon Flex drivers earn a pretty good wage of $18 to $25 per hour. The next job on my list is related, and that is being a driver for Uber or Lyft. You probably know about this job already, but I thought I would mention it because it is something that is a very flexible, good option for anyone who wants to work for themselves and earn a little bit of money, or even earn a full-time living. Uber drivers normally earn between $650 and $750 per week if they're working full-time, about 40 hours a week. The next job that you might consider is to be an event planner. Now, event planners do normally work in a specific locality, but there's no reason why they couldn't work online and work with clients over the internet. Now, you might want to be in the same location as your client so that you could go to meetings or take a look at products, but that's not necessarily required. And even if you did want to be in the same location, you still could work with one client at a time and then move to a new location. So you still could be very location independent. You definitely can do this working for yourself, and it does offer a lot of flexibility because you can really set your own hours and your own prices. An event planner earns $26,000 to $79,000 per year, according to the US Bureau of Labor. Have you ever heard someone say you can make a living doing what you love, and you thought, that would be nice, you know, in some other world, I'm sure that's the case, you can just make a living doing what you love. Well, I have to tell you that it's actually kind of true. Now, you can't make a living just loving something, of course, but you can make a living doing what you love if you're good at it, if you have spent a lot of time studying it. And chances are, if you really love something, then you are interested in it enough to learn a lot about it. If you learn a lot about any topic, then you know more than a lot of other people. And if you have that knowledge, then you can make money by sharing it with people. You can either teach people about the thing that you know about, or you could possibly offer some type of service. So for example, I am an expert in online business strategy. And so because of that, I teach clients about how to create strategies for their business. I also help clients to execute those strategies. I provide marketing services such as Facebook ads for my clients, and I also do web design because I learned how to do that back in college. So all those things are related to my interest in online business strategy. So that makes me an expert in online business strategy because I've studied it for a number of years and I professionally help clients with it. You too can become an expert with probably less work than you think. Some of the first steps include getting to know your topic really well and then writing about it so that you can show your authority on the subject and show that you really understand the subject thoroughly. Once you've created that content, then you can start pitching news media such as TV stations and journalists who are looking for experts on that topic. There are resources such as a service called HARO, Help a Reporter Out, where journalists look for experts to help them out with their stories, and then you can respond to those journalists. You help them, they help you, because you then get to say, I was featured in Newsweek or whatever the media publication was. And through that process, you can become more and more of an expert, get featured more and more places, and establish your authority so that you can get paid to write or speak on your topic, or get paid by clients to help them out with whatever your topic is. The next job that I have is author or writer. And I'm an author. I wrote my first book last year and it did really well. But one of the most common questions that I get as an author is, do authors actually make money? Or, oh, that's so great that you wrote a book, but do you actually make money with it? And I have to say that the answer is definitely yes. It is not as much money as some other jobs, but I did make thousands and thousands of dollars from it, and it definitely is a legitimate career. So for me, what I did as an author, and right now I'm working on my second book, so that could change things in the future, but right now I have one book. I earn about $5 per book sale, so you can see that that can add up pretty quickly if you do any sort of promotional efforts for your book. And then I also do freelance writing. So I write for other blogs, for magazines, and for other books. And I normally get paid about $30 per hour when I'm doing those freelance writing gigs. My next job option is to be a course creator. You've probably heard something about online courses or e-courses, even if you're not in the industry. They've been a growing trend lately with more and more people taking these classes online. Normally they're comprised of video and also some text material for people to read and then some assignments. They can be anywhere from just a couple of lessons long all the way up to a course that takes a whole year to complete. Now, these courses are really fun and they're interesting both to participate in and also to create. So if you have a topic that you're passionate about and that you are knowledgeable in, even if you're not really an expert yet, you still could share that with people and teach them about it. Course prices vary wildly, anywhere from $10 for a course all the way up to $5,000 or $10,000 for a course. I know I've personally bought courses anywhere from about $50 all the way up to $2,000 for courses that I believed would actually help me make money or develop my business in some way. It's worth it if you're gonna make money. So anyway, course creators make a very widely varied amount of money, as you can imagine, depending on how much the course costs, how much they're selling it for, and also how well they execute a launch. So maybe you launch your $10 course and you don't sell any of them, or maybe you launch your $2,000 course and you sell 1,000 copies. So obviously there is a big variance of how much a course creator can earn, but there's also a huge potential. So if you have a topic that you are really passionate about or interested in and you would like to share it with people, instead of just creating free content or just maybe writing a book or writing articles, you might consider turning it into a course, because you can normally sell a course for a lot more money than you could sell a book for. Now, you might be relieved to find out that the next job on my list has nothing to do with being an expert, but it does have to do with having a specific skill. The job is to be a Facebook ads manager. Now, like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, a lot of companies like to use social media to advertise their business. Some like to go the free route and others like to go the paid route by paying for advertising campaigns to promote their ads across different social media platforms, Facebook being the very most popular. Now, Facebook ads do take a fair amount of time to execute and some amount of skill. It's mostly about testing though. Once you have the basics down, then every time you run a new ad, it's kind of another experiment. You have to do a little bit of testing to figure out exactly what's going to work and what's going to resonate with that company's audience. Now, if you have those basics down and you're willing to help a company get some leads, then you can run their ads for them. Facebook ad managers, they normally charge about $200 all the way up to $1,500 to set up an ad campaign, which can take about a day to 3 days, I would say, on average. But once the ad campaign is set up, the transaction doesn't stop there. because then the company continues to pay the Facebook ad manager about $200 to $1,200 per month to manage the ads. Those ads have to be tweaked and adjusted, new ads have to be started, ads have to be stopped, because it is this constant testing process where you're trying to figure out what works so that you can get the company the best results for their money. So I mentioned how much a Facebook ad manager charges for the individual clients, the individual transactions, but what I didn't say was how much they can earn in total. Now, because managing ads doesn't actually take that much time once you get the hang of it, and that means a Facebook ad manager can take on a number of clients at once, and because they're charging each client about $1,000 a month, you can see that that could scale pretty quickly. Depending on how much time you have to put into it and how good you are at getting your clients leads, and how quickly you can execute the ads for your customers, you could earn anywhere from about $15,000 to $30,000 per month. That would be like 15 clients to 30 clients. So basically, if you're good at it and you can do it pretty quickly, then you could make a whole lot of money. Okay, the second to last job on my list is the job of editor. If you are good at English and you are a very careful, detail-oriented person, then you could quite possibly be an editor. And there is a very high demand for editors right now. Writing books has become a much more popular thing to do, especially for celebrities and social media influencers and business owners. It's been people have realized what a good opportunity is for them to establish their expertise on a topic, and so they've started writing books a lot more prolifically than they were even just a few years ago. Because of this, there are a whole lot of people who need to hire good editors. So if you are a detail-oriented person, you are good at English or whatever language is the, if you're good at a language, really, you could probably edit books in that language. Editors normally charge based on the word count, so they might charge anywhere from 1 cent up to 4 cents per word, which might not sound like much, but it ends up that they charge about $1,000 to $2,000 per book that they edit. And so if you could get through a few books a month, then you could earn several $1,000s. I would say that most book editors earn somewhere between $3,500 and $6,000 per month. The final job on my list is the job of copywriter. And no, this is not filing patents for companies and products. Copywriting is the act of writing copy being advertising text. So whenever you see an ad for something, there are pretty pictures of that thing, but there is also text that accompanies the picture that says, "Buy this! This is so amazing! You should buy Coca-Cola!" or whatever it is. So someone has to write those words, and some people are really good at it, and some people are not so good at it. If you are someone who is a good writer and persuasive, then you might be a really good copywriter. If you're interested in learning how to be a copywriter, I would suggest that first you learn about writing. So you might take some English classes, you might study textbooks, or maybe you're already a gifted writer. And then you also study marketing, advertising, and psychology so that you can learn what words would really grab the customers and persuade them to buy the product. If you're a good copywriter and you have a full clientele, so you're good at marketing yourself also, then you could earn between $3,000 and $6,000. Okay, well that is all 12 jobs that you can do from your laptop, from your home, on your own hours, and set your own wages. I hope that you found this list helpful, and I would be really interested to hear, do you already work for yourself? Do you have a side gig? Do you have a full-time gig? Do you own your own company? And are any of these jobs something that appeals to you? Are you going to try any of them out? Or were you just watching this video for entertainment? Which, of course, is totally fine too. If you are thinking about trying any of these jobs out, I would highly recommend that you download my guide. It's called Quick Start Guide for Online Business, and it gives you 12 actionable steps that you can take to start your own online business. Because really, even though each of these is a freelancing gig essentially, it really is an online business. You're going to be having transactions with customers, you need to market yourself, all the components of an actual business are there, and it can be a big process to get started. So if you want to make sure that you do that correctly so that you can have the best results for the least amount of anguish and money, then I would definitely recommend that you download that guide. It's completely free. It's called Quick Start Guide for Online Business. There's a link in the down bar below, and I hope that you enjoy it and let me know what you think. I'll be back next week with another video like this talking about online business, how to make money, and how to market yourself. I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you next time.